Hi, my name is Michael St. Amy. If you happen to enjoy this video and you're new to the channel, I would like to invite you to subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a like and a comment. Good evening. Tonight's video is going to be about this, what appears to be very simple item. This is actually just a cut off of it. It's You only be interested in this if you have a CNC machine or if you do any type of vacuum hold down type. This would be of interest to you. But still, if you're not, just hanging there with me tonight. It's not every time it's going to be something for you. But please, if you're interested in support me, go ahead and do so. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're a regular, I really appreciate you. So this is an item I came across that improves the vacuum hold down on my CNC machine significantly, more than double. I give you an idea of the type of items that I would want to hold down on a CNC machine. This I'm finding, this 10-inch circle, square, any shape, but 10 inches for this current setup, it's ideal for this. Perfectly holds it down. You can go a little bit smaller, 8 inches, it would do it too. I'm gonna have a different solution for smaller items such as this. It gets kind of hairy with this, but it's perfect for this. And you're gonna see that in a demonstration I'm gonna show you in a second. So here we go. We have the CNC machine here, and I'm showing you this with the vacuum on. With the vacuum on. That's the square that I use to cut this circle out of. That's the blank. And you see with the vacuum on, I can move it around. This is it from a different view. I can pull it. It has a little bit of resistance, but I can fairly easily push it around and pull it off. Now, when I put the mat into place, you're gonna see the difference. It's crazy. Watch this. This is me leaning into it. This is me pulling on it, white knuckling. From another angle, you can see. Watch my veins. It doesn't work at all on the smaller pieces. Just on the, you see how easily I'm moving it around directly on the vacuum table. It's a whole lot better on this, and there's probably, I could use machining strategies that could allow me to do something this small, but I have a different solution for that. This is me actually using it to cut out the circle that I showed you earlier, this circle. I'm cutting it out in 3 passes. That's the last pass. And I found out that I didn't go deep enough. I'm about 1/1000 off, so there's a little skin on it. But it doesn't make a difference because I'm gonna show you it could have done it all the way through. You see that little skin? I need to go about using this gasket is new to me, so I need to go about, I'm finding out about 3,000 below my depth to get what I want, what I expected. Now, that's that same circle directly on the vacuum table. And you see how easily I'm moving it around? Now watch this. Again, It's not moving. Al, did you just come in? Anyway, before I address you, Al, I normally start looking into the comment after I'm finished with the presentation, which will be in a second. So again, you saw how I handled this. This is the exact piece in plywood. And I'm gonna switch the angle. The diameter, 10 inches. And you saw how well it held it. And it did pretty decent with this. And you can see this blank. This is 6.5 by 5 inches. And that's the blanks. These are some leftover, the blanks that I used for the stands, the iPhone stands I showed you guys. So that gives you an idea of how well that holds. And you can get this product from Black Box. Where did I put that? I think I put it up on here. Let me pull that up for you guys. Where is it? Where's the Black Box? I think is. I'll get with you in a second. I had put it up on this, I thought. Let me try this. Let me go back to the video. I know what I did. I need to do this by another means. I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna come in here. Okay. That's the web address. That's the company that sells this product. It sells for $169. Just say $170. And it's called the what is it called? It's called, the exact name is, what's the name? What's the name? Oh, Grip Lock Mat. And it comes in a roll that is 5 feet by 10 feet. In the case of my machine, I can recover my machine with this mat, over time, an extensive period of time, I may add, because I'm barely touching it. I can recover my machine that is a 3x4 machine 3 times. So that's why I really like that. At that price of $170, is a real good deal. And it works, as you saw, it works really well. So now I'm going to turn to the questions, the interaction and the comments. Okay, I got that. Yes, sir. More than twice. I would say 3 times, in my opinion. It's, I don't know if you noticed in the video, you could see a shadow, a outlining of the circle I cut. You can't even feel it. But once again, I needed to go about 1,000 extra. I'm figuring out it's about 3,000 of an inch. I need to drop the bit into it. So it is very resilient. It's very resilient. And if I was to take an educated guess, I think this was last the equivalent of the amount of time the spoil board would last. As far as me cutting into the spoil board anyway, I think it will last. Every time I go to resurface my spoil board, I'm thinking that I will know with experience, I may have to replace this. But so far I'm very impressed. I am very impressed. And for those who are just coming into CNC, outside of a vacuum hold down table, the means that people mostly use for holding down their projects is double side tape. Some people use CA glue with tape. That's another good method. But prior to people coming up with these solutions, which can be time consuming, individuals generally use physical clamps to hold their project down. And the problem with that is you have to take those clamps into consideration when you're designing the cutting path for your project. And that could be time consuming in a design, and it's time consuming when you have to when you have to do multiples of something. The vacuum table is the quickest way of doing it, especially when you have multiples to do. But just like everything, it has a drawback. Its drawback is primarily smaller pieces, and which is not very common. But any piece that is that air can pass through, anything that's permeable would not hold very well on a vacuum table. Yes, I agree. The composite nails I'm very familiar with. And the composite nail is the same thing too. You will have to, well, it's a little bit quicker than the other methods because you break them and then you can quickly nail another project in. But once again, if it doesn't break cleanly, you may have an issue with raised pieces on the top of the table. The vacuum table, to me, was the most efficient way of doing it. But as I said, its major drawback, and I'll explain to you how the vacuum table works. It's based on atmospheric pressure, basically based on gravity, putting load down. I don't know what the exact numbers is. It's measured in henries, but I'll give you a big picture. So don't quote me on this. Let's say every square inch of vacuum is equivalent of a column of air from coming down from you know gravity that is equivalent of 10 pounds, right? And I'm saying that to say this: the more surface area you have is the better holding power you have with a vacuum table. So if you have 10 pounds of pressure being put down on the object, let's say square inch, right? Every square inch, there would be an additional 10 pounds. So you can see if you have more surface area, you have more holding power. So a small item like this has less holding power. It has less holding power on it, less pressure being put down on it than, say, something larger, or worse yet, something the whole size of my table. So that's the trick. And that's what this improves. It makes the vacuum suction more efficient. Al, do you ever have any problems with the nails not breaking off cleanly? I've never entertained that, but I'm doing that based on the concept of regular metal nails. Does the plastic nails always break off cleanly? Okay, there's the exact number. I'm pretty close. I said 10 pounds. Okay. Okay. I'm going to throw this up here. So Al has a little bit of information that he can share with us. So at sea level, and the higher you go up is a less amount of that weight that's being applied from gravity. So at sea level, Al is saying it's 14.7 pounds. Yes, I agree. I agree. That's what is doing two things. Is the way, I mean, I guess on a microscopic level, this thing is permeable pretty much evenly, and the in the areas where it's not passing air, it's also acting as a gasket, so you're not leaking air also. So I think it's doing a bit of double work, and that's what makes it so good. Got you. Okay. Al, if you're interested, I want to do something a little bit different in the future. If you're interested, I'd like to bring you on the show. Just let me know. For those who don't know, Al is a woodworker himself. He's a little guy like myself, um, but he also make accessories for woodworking tools using 3D printing technology. So again, Al, if you're interested, just let me know. Yeah, I would like to invite you on. Great. We'll set that up. I was looking at a company out in California that makes something similar to this. Notice how I dragged out that similar. It was a gasket, but it was not permeable. So what they was doing was putting holes, evenly spaced holes that they cut out, so the air could pass through. This is, from what I'm seeing, from the tests that I saw of theirs on their YouTube channel, and they have this special test tool to apply pressure to let you know how much pounds of weight is required to break the seal. The other company product was not as effective as this one. And plus, this one was cheaper. Now, to give you a little bit of hint, the direction I'm gonna go with this, I could go one or two directions, and I'm gonna figure it out by experimentation. Well, actually, there's about three ideas I have. When I was doing this, I had two zones turned off on my CNC, and I was only using one zone. But the one zone is like almost the full width of the table, so it's about 36 inches wide. Is one zone. So there was a lot of wasted air coming up, sorry, pulling down on the one side. So I'm thinking about when I'm doing something small like this, putting a piece of acrylic, something that's not permeable, on the unused side, which would increase or concentrate the vacuum in one area. And I think it would make something like this become feasible just using this on my table as it is right now. So I'm gonna try that first. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna get another, the MDF I use is what you call ultralight MDF. Is more permeable than regular MDF. I'm gonna get a sheet, not a sheet, I'm gonna cut off a piece the size of that vacuum zone, but thinking about how I wanna do it. No, I'm thinking about how I will go about doing it. That's not the way I would wanna do it. I still gotta think it through. I gotta think it through. But I think that first method is gonna work. Yep. As I said, it's a great deal. It is a great deal. That's why I jumped on it. The company that I got it from is, oh, let me give you a little bit of information. I showed you the website, but that company is the same company that makes the vacuum pump for my CNC machine. The model I have from them is called a Cyclone, which is the middle model. And this is because I have a middle-sized machine. It runs on single phase as compared to the other technology, the other type of pumps that require three-phase power. And just like CamMaster, is based locally. So I was able to drive to these guys and pick up this. And I was able to meet the owners and so forth. And pretty good people. I have no qualms, no issue recommending them. And I showed you the product. The product speaks for itself. Yes, I agree. I agree, Al. Yeah, I have a couple experiments I want to do. Oh, there was a third way. My second way I kind of jumped over because I gotta think that out. Another way is, the vacuum setups that you use for veneering and so forth. You can also use those. I can make a small clamping table from out of those. So I may make a small clamping fixture out of like particle board and with a similar grid pattern to what's in my CNC table, the phenolic table, and use gasketing for a smaller item like this as a solution. I don't know. I'll do a test on this scrap, but I don't think, especially with a smaller bit like a quarter inch or something like that, I don't think it will make a big difference if you was to puncture this. As I told you, the other company's product is a bunch of little quarter-inch holes, and that's how they pass air through it. So I don't think it would be a big deal. Now you don't want to rip out big chunks of it. It'll become less effective. Exactly how. Something like that is what I'm thinking for small, for real small items, like say this. But this was on the edge. It took a little bit of effort for me to move this. I'm also believing that if I use, well, see, but then it becomes too long and drag out. If I go instead of 3 passes, let's say I did in in a piece like this. Ooh, sorry about that, guys. Let's say instead of doing 3 passes like I did with this, let's say I did 6. If I did 6 passes, then it would be putting less pressure going down, but it would take longer to do it. Yes, generally you could do that. You could use the gasketing to zone off sub zone area, just to make it a smaller area, which will give you more of the vacuum. So wherever the port is coming up for the vacuum, you encapsulate that and just enough of the area that you need to hold the item down. But because and that's another thing I'm considering doing. My vacuum table, the spoil board, is screwed down. I actually did that. I drill holes and I use plastic bolts to hold it down. So it's not really being held down by vacuum. I try to get the maximum of vacuum to come up to the table, so the vacuum is not really working that much to hold the sheet down. It's been bolted down. Now, I'm thinking in the future to have different setups. I may have a setup with particle board and just a front zone with a grid in it, similar to my phenolic grid in my vacuum table. And then I could do like what Al is saying. I could section off a small area for small parts. So that's one way you can do it too. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I will close it out in a little bit. I'd like to thank everyone that attended. And I know this one was kind of a niche because not everyone that has a CNC machine. Any more questions? Any more interactions? Okay, we look good. And again, thanks for watching. Oh, here we go. I'll have something to say. Good demo. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate. Oh, and I really appreciate you attending, Al. And I'll see you guys next week. And I'll be getting in touch with you, Al. Thanks for watching the video, and be safe in the shop.